Cardano's faced a lot of FUD in the last week alone, with claims that the chain is essentially dead. Now, I've got a lot of information contradicting just that statement alone, and we're seeing an unmatched amount of development continuing to grow the ecosystem outwards. As a part of today's video, I want to talk about the gaming sector, lending and borrowing, DePin, and so much more. What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As always, we're diving into the biggest updates when it comes to Cardano. This by far will be one of the biggest shows, touching on 10 separate projects. So if you guys do enjoy these types of updates, please make sure to smash that like and consider subscribing. First things first, we're going to talk about the Cornucopias game, which has just announced an expansion into the base ecosystem, a layer 2 built on Ethereum, built out by the Coinbase team. This provides a huge benefit in terms of exposure for the Cornucopias game. And as a part of today's video, I want to dive into some of the details surrounding their expansion. Following that, we've got some updates surrounding governance. SIP number 1694 is just around the corner, and so is the Chang hard fork, expected for Q2 or potentially Q3 of this year. Following that, towards the latter half of the year, we will have the official Cardano constitution being signed by the general community if we vote to do so. So some pretty big updates surrounding Voltaire in the official inauguration of decentralization here for the Cardano community. Now, following that, I want to talk about Lace. They just released version 1.0.9, bringing along multi-account support and multi-delegation support, but they've also turned around and just delivered another version, bringing simple transactions in order for you to better understand what's being sent in and out of your wallets, as well as adding brand new security features. So I want to talk about those as well. Following that, we do have some unfortunate news with Charli3, a Oracle provider. So their job is to bring data, which is off-chain, on-chain, temporarily going down over the course of the last week. Now I'm going to talk about what was actually impacted, some of the protocols affected, which of course include lending and borrowing, one of them being LQ or Liquid. And then also want to quickly highlight a report that was just revealed by the team, breaking everything down from beginning to finish. Now, on a much more positive note, I do want to talk a little bit about the Gero project. So Gero Wallet has revamped, and they've now brought on a brand new roadmap, brand new members for the actual management of the protocol. And there's also a brand new quest that has just piqued the community's interest, giving away the potential to earn 1 million of the Gero tokens. So I'm going to break down some of those details there as well. Following that, we've got a brand new project in the ecosystem labeled Nuvola. They're a DePin aggregator providing their services to existing DePin projects, i.e. the Iagon protocol, potentially also World Mobile. Now, after that, I want to talk about Lenfi, which has brought on about 5 to 6 new features for their peer-to-peer or V1 version of their platform. So pretty big update there. This team continues to revamp, rebuild, and adopt. They just released V2 about a month and a half ago, and that has over, I believe, 15 to 16 million ADA in terms of TVL. Now, following that, we have some pretty cool updates when it comes to Book.io with the recent listing on Maxi. Similarly, we have Indigo with the recent listing on Maxi as well, with a brand new creator campaign. And we're going to close out with the Cerrar protocol, which has just announced that their AMM style protocol, or the AMM portion of the protocol, is now live on the main net. Now, if it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, my goal is to help you find your way to digital liberty here within the growing Cardano ecosystem. Again, if you find this content to be helpful, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If you want to take things a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you'll earn your ADA. You'll also earn the Matera token, or the Matera utility token, as well as the Cerrar token, given the fact that the Dapp Central stake pool is a partner pool with both of those ongoing ISPOs. Now that we have the introduction out of the way, we have the Cornucopias team partnering up with the base network. I want to preface this by saying, yes, there will always be FUD about projects going multi-chain or cross-chain, but this has been one that's been in the works, and the team has been very transparent throughout the process. If you guys just missed how Cornucopias was actually originated, they had a token on BNB that was actually migrated over into Cardano once Cardano became a little bit more mature with respect to smart contracts and just the adoption of Cardano native tokens. Now, since then, we've seen the Cornucopias game expand to Ethereum with a recent listing of their COPI token on the biggest DEX on Ethereum, which is Uniswap. Now, Uniswap has actually just gotten sued by the SEC. That's a whole nother conversation. I'll have another video coming out about that. But what I was really trying to illustrate there was the fact that Cornucopias has been expanding into other ecosystems, which include, of course, BNB, Cardano, and now ETH, as well as Base. Now, as a little bit of background, Base is developed by the Coinbase team. I would assume that if you're within the US, you definitely know who Coinbase is. They're one of the largest crypto exchanges right now. Of course, they're centralized, but they've taken a step into the crypto space, building an L2 utilizing the Optimism stack on Ethereum. So it states here, our mission to stay on the cutting edge of technology applies to every area of our work, which is why we've taken steps to expand our product into the fastest growing layer 2 on Ethereum. They have really knocked this one out the park when I'm referring to Base here. They have grown as one of the fastest L2s, attracting millions in terms of TVL, bringing a huge opportunity for early adopters of their network. Now, keep in mind, they already have the biggest centralized exchange in the United States. Imagine a direct onboard into their ecosystem from the centralized exchange. I think this is where the huge opportunity comes in. Now, if I jump over to this next tab here, it talks about the time, right, that we've seen people onboard directly into Base. So if you take a look at Arbitrum, which had a lot of hype around it, another L2 on Ethereum, it took them about 303 days to get all the way up to 1 million addresses. Optimism, which is actually what the Base network is built off of, saw 191 days to get 1 million addresses, followed by ZK Sync with 71 days and an astonishing 11 days for the Base network to adopt 1 million addresses. Now, a lot of this is due to the recent meme coin craze. A lot of people were in Solana trading meme coins, becoming millionaires overnight. And a lot of that attention has now shifted over to Base, again, given the amount of users on their centralized exchange potentially being onboarded directly onto the Base network. So this is exactly what this piece highlights. And then if I move over, there's also just the master plan when it comes to the Base ecosystem, right? So this breaks down the internet and digital currency and how that's evolved over different phases, starting off with TCP/IP, as well as just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and just some of the major L1s early on. As a part of phase 2, we saw infrastructure being developed and improved with secure exchanges and cold storage solutions coming out along. As a part of phase 3, we saw consumer interfaces being developed. And then as a part of phase 4, we have dApps being built on top of the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, etc., where we now currently are. So taking a look at each of those phases there at the very bottom, we have the amount of people that each of those phases reached, starting off with about 1 million all the way to about 1 billion people being reached as a part of phase 4. So a lot of potential here for Base. Now, what does this mean for Cornucopias? Well, this team has been building, again, they've already launched NFTs on Cardano. They've got their own marketplace being built out on Cardano. But with respect to Base, they're now going to be launching their COPI file node sale there as well. Now, the node gives you the ability as a node operator to earn Cornucopias tokens, right, or rewards based off of a service that you're providing, which is the ability to allow for end users to actually download the game at a much faster pace. So right now, when I'm downloading the game, it's about 18 gigs of data, and it takes about anywhere, depending on your internet speed, between 10 to 15 minutes to update. Now, with the nodes, you'll basically be able to do this in a decentralized way where you can download multiple shards in a single go, reducing the time to actually update and download the game. So this makes a huge impact here for people that are being onboarded into the Cornucopias ecosystem. And we've already seen these nodes being sold on the Base network. In addition, the team will be launching the sale of their fastest NFT vehicle, which is the F9R, on Base as well. Now, I cannot continue any further without stating here that multi-chain will be the future. There's been a lot of FUD already about this announcement. But again, take a step back. And if you're a believer in Cornucopias, you should be bullish about the expansion of their product, given that it's going to be able to reach much more people, therefore allowing for the actual game to thrive while also growing the actual community. This also provides artists, creators, or just regular average players, right, with their play to earn model, the ability to also earn from the game. So it only expands the ecosystem, and it also expands the opportunity, regardless of where you're providing value, whether you're a node operator, whether you're, again, an artist, a creator. This makes the cornucopias game that much bigger. I think a lot of people tend to get very threatened when projects mention going multi-chain. Again, we've seen this with the recent announcement with Cornucopias. We've seen this with Meld. We recently saw this with World Mobile, stating that they're going to be using tech outside of Cardano, and people get up in arms. But again, if you believe in a project, it shouldn't just be tied to Cardano. The ecosystem here is amazing, but there's opportunities everywhere else, right? So I think this is just something that the Cardano community has to come to grips with. But I'm excited for what is going to be coming from the Cornucopias game expanding into base. Now, I want to end off here with the fact that the team has also released a brand new creator contest. So they have a repository of very high quality digital assets, that is vehicle assets, land plot assets, videos, anything that you need when it comes to Cornucopias, you can now go ahead and get. And this basically allows for creators to make sure that they're representing the game in the best way possible when they're creating content. So as a part of this brand new initiative, if you want to go ahead and create a brief video using the assets in their repository, you could win one of their found NFTs, which is valued all the way up to about $285. That will do it there for updates surrounding Cornucopias. As I mentioned, this will be a pretty big update here. Next, let's roll into governance. I just mentioned the governance repository shared by Mike from the Able pool. Check out my last video if you guys want to find out more about that. But what we have here is from Lucas, and this is breaking down the steps for governance. So right now we're preparing, right, for the Chang hard fork and for the release of SIP number 1694. Following that, we're going to have the draft constitution taking place in Q2, followed by the interim constitutional committee, which will also be taken care of in Q2. Now, as a part of that same exact quarter, we're going to have the core governance tools launching on the mainnet, followed by the DREP Pioneer program, and then constitutional workshops taking place all around the globe. Following that, in Q2 and Q3, we're going to have the launch of the Chang hard fork, which will introduce Voltaire, or which will introduce governance to the Cardano community. After the Chang upgrade, we're going to have an annual member meeting in Japan, followed by the biggest piece here, which is the Constitutional Convention taking place in December in Argentina. So if the Cardano community can agree on the Constitution, we're going to have the ability to vote to actually go ahead and ratify that or bring that into quote unquote law. So a pretty big update here when it comes to just the governance, and one of the biggest pieces here when it comes to actually being a fully decentralized blockchain. So I want to quickly touch on that there as well. Next, we have a brief update surrounding the Lace wallet. I just mentioned this not too long ago. Lace just released multi-account support as well as a multi-wallet support where you can actually log in with multiple accounts, right? Without having to constantly re-enter your seed phrase and reload a wallet every single time that you're using the Lace wallet. So we have a brand new version dubbed Lace 1.10, and this brings in a huge security feature, which I want to quickly go ahead and touch on. So they've revamped their Dapp wallet connections, and it states here that they've added a summary in the Dapp connector of all assets involved in the transaction, so you can quickly see what changes are about to be executed on your wallet. We've seen a lot of other security features coming out as well, one of them being the Cardano Shield, developed and integrated into the Begin wallet as well as the Gero wallet, which basically lets you know at a quick glance if you're interacting with a potential scam or phishing website and whether the tokens that you're dealing with have been marked as potential scam or phishing tokens. So very similar approach being taken here by the Lace team. As you can see here, you can quickly see what NFTs you're sending, the names. You can also quickly identify the collateral, the amount that you're depositing, your return deposit, etc. They've also gone ahead and added graphics to the transaction summary, which I just showed there above, as well as more information surrounding collateral. So this is what it looked like before, a lot of text, not many graphics. And of course, you can compare that to what we have here, which is a lot more visually appealing and simpler to understand. Scrolling down, they've also made some updates to reduce duplicated address in their inputs/output section. And then they've also revitalized their stake pool view. So you can now go ahead and when you're delegating to a stake pool, sort the list of available stake pools by ticker, saturation, cost, margin, or produced block, as well as pledged and the actual amount of live stake that's available. Last but not least, they've simplified the onboarding process, adding default values for things like the wallet name. That way you don't have to worry about that when you're actually creating a brand new wallet. So pretty quick update there surrounding the Lace platform. The next topic I want to jump into is surrounding the C3 Oracle or Charli3. So unfortunately, we saw some downtime for C3 taking place over the last weekend. And we have a post here from Liquid Finance. So it states here, yesterday, April 7th of 2024, at about 8:08 UTC to 8:29 UTC for about a short span of 20 minutes, the price feed for JED experienced a significant fluctuation, falling from 98 cents all the way down to a little bit less than just a penny. So JED should always be pegged to about $1, right? Given the fact that it's collateralized and you can view those collateral repositories directly on their website. And it's Charli3's job to grab the value of JED and bring that on chain for DeFi protocols like Liquid to use on their protocol. Now, when you have a depeg or you have an issue where you're getting an incorrect value, that can have a huge impact on the loans which are open, right, on the LQ platform or on any DeFi protocol if they're using those values. That could temporarily show that a loan should be liquidated or that somebody's collateral is not up to par if invalid data is fed to the protocol. Now, I'm going to leave the link to this down below. This is quite lengthy here, right? But what I really want to touch on is the screenshot here showing the deviation in price, right, which took place for JED. But then I also want to highlight the report that was released by the Charli3 team. So I'll leave the link to this down below. It's about an 8-minute read, and it breaks down the entire incident report. For the sake of time, maybe I'll do a separate video diving a little bit deeper into this. I cannot highlight everything. I'll just quickly show you guys. I mean, this walks through the entire process, you know, step by step, hour by hour, going into the nitty gritty, highlighting everything that was impacted and what the team has done to make sure that this does not occur again in the near future. So I just want to highlight a couple of pieces, talk about what was impacted, and then we'll go ahead and move into the next topic. So it states here, Charli3 Oracles is focused on high quality product assurance. The team boasts a proud operational uptime accuracy of 99.9% since their mainnet product launch back in October 14th of 2022, or about a year and a half ago. Now, if I scroll down, we have the severity, right, of the incident, which is currently marked as major, where there was a temporary disruption of some services and unreliable data source posted on chain. Now, this impacted the following feeds. Their Shen/USD feed, where there was a delayed price, the Endmaker/ADA feed, again with the delayed price update, followed by IUSD/USD with the delayed price update. Next, we have JED/USD, which was also impacted by a delayed price update. There was also limited reliable data sources during the fix, and then unreliable data from a specific data source. Next, we have book.io/USD as well as ADA/C3. Now, the brief description here states that a data mismatch or misplacement took place on April 6th of 2024, where the BlockFrost API began exhibiting erratic behavior with a noticeable mismatch in misplacement of datum types. Now, incorrect associations between data hashes in the inline datum led to the retrieval of unexpected and erroneous data. Now, this severely impacted the integrity of the price feeds. Now, again, this breaks down literally the root cause from start to finish and also highlights what the team has done to make sure that this does not occur moving forward. They're not going to be putting in some fail stops and some backup APIs in order to make sure that nothing like this happens in the future. So it states here in terms of preventative measures in the short term, they've removed dependencies on BlockFrost. That's huge. They've also removed SundaySwap as a data source from all their feeds until more data sources are added in. And they're also implementing 2 more data source feeds, right, with CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Let's see here. Last but not least, they've started rolling out server upgrades with Kupo and Ogmios integrations. Again, from a long-term perspective, they're going to be focusing on limiting dependencies. And let's see here. They've also proposed an enhanced alert and monitoring system. So quite a bit here. This was unfortunate, But again, at the very top, it does mention their 99.99 uptime rate, which is as much as you can ask for, right? I don't think that there's ever any platform that has 100% uptime. Even platforms like Google, even Amazon and AWS, they go down, but it's to make sure that that happens as least as possible and to make sure that you have the preventative measures in place to make sure that it doesn't continuously happen. So unfortunate situation, but it has been rectified. Again, the team has been fully transparent and they were able to get this report out here very quickly, right? Recapping what has happened and what they're aiming to do to make sure that this doesn't happen moving forward. If you're enjoying today's mega update, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. And of course, again, if you want to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Next, we've got a brief update surrounding the Gero wallet. So we just had the eclipse taking place here in the United States about 2 days ago. And on that particular day, we saw the eclipse adventure beginning for the Gero wallet. So it states here, today as the solar eclipse casts its shadow, an extraordinary event unfolds in the magical Cardano forest. Our beloved mascot, the Gero stag, mesmerized by the celestial dance, wanders off into the enchanted woods. Interesting take here on content creation and content engagement that we don't typically see here within the Web3 space. Now we have a reward to find the Gero stag, which sits at 1 million Gero tokens valued at about 11,000 ADA. And right now, given the price of ADA, is worth around $5,000 to $6,000. So it states here, in order to retrieve, right, the stag or to find the stag, they need some community engagement. That said, they're looking for about 500 retweets in order to unlock the next phase of the puzzle or of the mystery in order to continue on. So right now they sit at about 209 retweets, which you can see here. I've actually just gone ahead and retweeted this myself, but I've reached out to the team to get a little bit more understanding as to what we can expect. And they've actually also revamped their roadmap. So I want to take a quick look at that as well. So they've brought on Adam, right, for management of the Gero wallet. They've brought on an additional member here as well, just to kind of bolster the development and to revamp Gero. So with this brand new roadmap, we have the support of the Sancho net, which is now complete. That's SIP number 95. They've also improved their DEX aggregator technology, right? So directly from within the Gero wallet, you can actually go ahead and make a purchase, which will use a DEX aggregator, making sure to take a look at all the aggregators, or all the DEX, I should say, in the ecosystem in order to give you the best price. Last but not least, they're working on a brand new swap feature for their desktop version of their app. Now, if I scroll down, there's the breakdown of the roadmap for 2024, which highlights a secret announcement, a mobile Dapp browser, which will be reworked. They've integrated the Cardano shield from a security standpoint. And there's also Infinity Pools, a one-stop shop platform when it comes to staking. Now, I just talked about C3. They're actually going to be using the Infinity Pools platform in order to stake their Charli3 cuties. And you guys are going to see more content coming out about that over the course of the next couple of weeks. Now, jumping back over here, we have a brand new swap feature for the desktop, improved tech for the DEX aggregator, and of course, SIP number 95 support, which has already been complete. Now, I believe in order for us to find out more, again, we have to interact and engage. So if you guys have not already done so, make sure to go ahead and do that. But I'm wondering what could be next for phase 2. Where do we go when it comes to the hunt for the Gero stag? And would this prize, or will this prize, be given out to a single member, or will it be distributed amongst a group? So make sure to go ahead and check out the Gero community. I'll leave the links to everything Gero down below if you guys want to find out more about that. Next, we've got a brand new project coming into the Cardano ecosystem. That is Nuvola. So Nuvola Digital has just come into the Cardano space, and they're a DePin aggregator, a decentralized physical infrastructure aggregator. And their job is to essentially provide resources for existing DePin protocols. Now, we talked about the multi-chain narrative a little bit ago surrounding cornucopias. Nuvola, I believe, will also be multi-chain with a big presence in Cardano initially. We just seen this team partnering up with Iagon to run Iagon storage nodes, and we could potentially see them partnering with World Mobile to also run World Mobile nodes. So it states here, Nuvola Digital is a network expansion protocol engaging with decentralized storage and computing, addressing a critical gap in the current digital ecosystem. I'll go and leave the link to their official website down below. They've got access to the team. I've actually been reached out to, let's see here, by Raul de Benedictis, as well as Saeed Lanka. And I believe they were both in attendance at the recent Dubai Cardano Summit. So again, go ahead and check this one out. I want to quickly bring them on here. They will be having a token sale being conducted by the CoinNecta platform. They're a decentralized launchpad here in the ecosystem. And I've had Marty on the channel talk about CoinNecta in times past. Now, I just mentioned their partnership here with the Iagon protocol. So it states that they will be providing a long-term partnership for Cardano ecosystem growth, and we'll be seeing them bolstering, right, multiple emerging cloud storage and computing infrastructure across the range of blockchain networks, obviously starting with Iagon first. Next, we have updates surrounding Lenfi and their P2P protocol. So Lenfi, also known as AADA Finance, or previously known as AADA Finance, has gone ahead and rolled out some updates for their P2P version, or V1 of their protocol. Step number one, or feature number one, will be the addition of multiple loan repayments in one single transaction. So imagine you have multiple loans that you have taken from a peer-to-peer perspective. You can go ahead and actually pay back multiple loans with one single transaction instead of dealing with them one at a time. Really cool feature for cost efficiency and a simple experience for whoever's paying back their loan. Number two, we have multi-collateral loans. So imagine being able to take a loan out, but not just using one Cardano native token as your collateral, but using multiple assets in order to make up your collateral. We've seen Butane, a synthetics protocol, take a very similar approach, allowing for you to mint synthetic assets using multiple CNTs or Cardano native assets as your underlying collateral. Third, we have collateral top-ups. So imagine you get a loan and the value of your collateral drops. You could potentially get liquidated unless you go ahead and add additional collateral, which with this brand new feature, you'll be able to top up your collateral in order to better manage your debt. Now, let's see here. Step number four, or update number four, is the delegation rewards for unfilled deposits and requests. Because this is using P2P or peer-to-peer, you can put out a request, right, where you basically put your collateral on the protocol or lock in a smart contract while you're waiting for somebody to provide you whatever asset you're looking to borrow. In the meantime, that asset that you've put up as collateral could still be earning you ADA rewards if that asset is ADA. Similarly, if you're a lender, right, and you're putting out your assets for somebody else to borrow, that ADA, while it's sitting, could still be earning you ADA staking rewards. Last but not least, there is an Oracle upgradability feature, which will allow for the P2P market to have their oracles updated without having to change or rework the entire protocol. So it states here, the new P2P market will be ready to use a third-party Oracle solution without the need to stop smart contracts. So really big updates here coming in from the Lenfi team. And this is all being done using Icon, which I've mentioned on my channel before, which makes the development experience here on Cardano so much easier. So they'll be utilizing the Icon platform in addition to Plutus V2 in order to bring in all these updates. Now, when will this actually be released or revealed? I don't have any information surrounding that, but this announcement was just made a couple of hours ago, and I want to take a minute to bring this to you guys' attention. Next, we have an update surrounding Book.io. So we've seen a lot of listings on centralized exchanges, specifically MEXC, and this one is no different. So the Book.io team has now added their asset with deposits officially opening on the 9th of April, right, on MEXC. They are the number 11th ranking when it comes to centralized exchanges, right? So the only platforms that are bigger than them are those, for example, like Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance. So this is huge here for the Book.io team. Next, we also have the Book.io con kicking off in Dallas, or in McKinney, Texas, excuse me, in 9 days. So make sure to go ahead and check this out. If you'll be traveling or around the area, you can pick up your ticket here. There will be guests, including Charles Hoskinson. We've also got Josh Stone. We've got Ben Illian. We've also got Patrick from Endmaker and a lot of other members contributing to the book space. Next, we've got a listing for the Indigo token, or the Indie Governance token, on the MEXC platform. So I just mentioned there, Cornucopias getting listed on MEXC, Book.io just getting listed on MEXC. I believe Iagon is there as well. Butane also recently listing there. And then we now have the Indigo team joining the wave. Now, deposits are open beginning on the 10th of April. You'll be able to actually begin trading. So congrats to the Indigo team. We are expecting V2 to launch, I believe, within the next month or two. I'll be keeping you guys updated when it comes to that, but I just released a video breaking down all the parameters and all of the ongoing proposals ahead of the launch of V2. Now, I talked a little bit about the content creator promotion for Cornucopias not too long ago. We've also seen the Indigo team taking a very similar approach with their POG initiative. So if you're a creator and you create content surrounding Indigo, there's going to be a portal where you can basically go in and submit that content, and you could potentially be rewarded in the Indie token. So I'm excited to see this. This is exactly how you can bring in new creators, creating excitement while still providing benefits to the viewers of that content, right? So it benefits the creators, it benefits the viewers, and also benefits the Indigo protocol. So this is exactly what I love to see: more content or more initiatives to bring on board content creators and to incentivize them by providing the Indie token. Now, this again will be done and agreed upon using the Indigo token, or excuse me, the Indigo DAO. This team takes a very serious approach to decentralization, and you can bet that if you do hold the Indie token, that you'll have the ability to vote as to how this actual feature is rolled out. Last but not least, in this mega update, we've got some news surrounding Cerrar. So I just mentioned that the Dapp Central Stake Pool is a partner pool with Cerrar for their ongoing SPO, as well as Matera. Now, the Cerrar AMM DEX will be hitting the mainnet on the 2nd of May. So this team is making a lot of progress recently integrating their risk ratings supplied by Cerberus, and they've also got everything running on their testnet. So a pretty brief update here, but congrats to the Cerrar team. They've already had other portions of their platform or their DeFi sharing hub already live on the mainnet. And I believe this is one of the last features to actually jump on the mainnet. So I wanted to take a quick moment to just kind of highlight this here. And of course, make sure to jump into the Dapp Central Stake Pool or the official Cerrar Stake Pool if you want to earn their Cerrar utility token. That will do it here for today's mega update here. I hope you guys found this to be helpful, touching on Cornucopias, Governance, Lace, Charli3, Gero, Nuvola, Lenfi, Book.io, Indigo, and Cerrar. If you learned anything along the way, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions or just want to share your opinion, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.